Welcome back
to Small Ponds,
Big Dreams. I'm your host, Matt.
And this is his co-host in crime, James.
And we are here to provide you with fishy topics and knowledge weekly with some humorous antics on the side.
So what do you say, Matt? You want to dive into this week's episode?
Into the deep we go! Yo, yo, yo. What up, Pond Hoppers? Mister, how are we doing today?
We are doing fantastic.
Dude, it's been a really, really kind of a wild week.
Yeah. At least it's finally warm.
It is 70 degrees outside on Friday, right? And it was snowing on Monday.
Yeah.
That's the kind of week we are having.
Yeah.
It's kind of terrible.
Horrible. But
it's been good though.
It has been good.
It has been good to us. I think this warming trend and then into next week we should be good. I think the lowest temps I saw next week's like 45 and 41.
Yeah.
Which is kind of low, but like we're talking 70, 80.
We're in 80 this Sunday, and I think we're doing mostly 60s and some 70s next week during the week.
Yeah. And
I'll take it.
A lot of sun, a little bit of rain. I know a couple of ponds that could use that rain.
Oh yeah.
So let's dive into the fishy shit.
Yes, let's. I think I'm gonna go first.
Yeah, you go first.
Mine was the earliest.
Okay, rub it in. I was a little salty.
I mean, it was Saturday, right after recording last week's episode. Mm-hmm. We went out and we hit the waters for like 4 hours with no catches. 2 ponds at Quad Park.
Yep.
And then we finally went to another location,
which we have no name for.
No, and we were there for a good almost an hour, I'd say.
And there was another guy on that pond who wouldn't catch anything.
Yeah, he just walked off. Until finally, towards the end, I found a spot, cast it in with a Rod Bender's Twitch 110, which is a hard plastic swim bait. Kind of a boot tail.
What's kind of wild is I wish you would have had it here.
I don't.
I know you don't. It's in the car. I wish I would have brought mine because it is a very different style.
Yes, actually.
Can we show them?
We can show them.
We're going to show you guys because it is definitely a different style. It's more of it's like, think of like a Huddleston boot tail almost. And then think of like, I don't know how to... It's almost like your typical glide bait, kind of a cut. Show them the color you have. Oh wow.
Yeah, the midnight crawl is crazy.
You'll see it in just a second. I think you just passed it. Nope, that's it. No.
The bluegill does look nice though.
I hate to tell you, but I do believe it's a sexy shad.
I think so, yes. Okay.
Yeah. Here it comes.
We're gonna
boink, and just a couple little editable things. But so we had not thrown this yet. James tied it on. We went to this pond. We were like, hey, it's the end of the day. We don't have much more time. Taking one rod, one lure on there, some pliers, and off we go. And I chose wrong.
That's what I was throwing, the X-Twitch 110.
And I was throwing a... I can't remember. It was something G-Crack.
It wasn't the Bellows Swimmer, was it?
No, because remember, I told you while we were there, after, you can talk about your cat, you can talk about that, but afterwards I was like, I didn't have a moving presentation. I was using a bottom contact, slow moving.
Probably even just a gill.
It was probably just a Bell's gill on a free rig or on a beast hook. And James was rocking
that. And about an hour into this pond to find a spot, cast out, grab a nice bite, pull him in. He's a little dinky dude, but he was nice. He was nice. Got him off the hook, threw him in, casted back immediately, same spot. Let it sink, pulled it in, boom, grabbed another one. 2 casts in a row. Second one was a little bigger. He was probably about a 2-pounder.
Yep.
Got him in, fished around for a little bit longer. I'd say 10, 15 minutes later. Pulled a third one out who was small but beautifully colored, nice darker green, almost bronze on him.
Mm-hmm.
And three at the end of the day to cap the day off was rather nice.
Yeah, it was kind of unexpected too, because this pond we're talking about is down crazy.
Yeah, at least 3 feet, if not 4.
Yeah, we're seeing structure we've never seen before. So I thought that was insane. But yes, Matt left very salty that day because I didn't catch anything.
You needed a moving presentation.
Yeah, and I couldn't even what presentation I had, they weren't taking movement. So I even told you, because remember the car before we got out of the car, like before we walked away from the car, I had a Bella's Gill swimmer on a flashy underspin, and I had it just sitting there, and I was like, I should try this on. I was like, you know what? Nah, I'll stick with the free rig. And I think that's what I had on, was a free rig.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out for me that day. And then so that was Saturday. Did we go out Sunday?
You went out Sunday.
Yeah, did I?
Yeah, you weren't doing so well that week.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Medically.
Yeah, medically. So I did go out, and then I put a pause on it for a few days, medically reason wise. Nothing crazy, but basically just rested my nugget. I hit my nugget too hard.
Yeah, you'll have that sometimes.
Yeah. Rested up for a few days, and then so Wednesday I went out. And it was the last day of the cold trend. Thursday was the start of the warm up. And then now we're on Friday, and we're just going to keep getting warmer and warmer. So I went out, took the BFS rod out, because I've been jamming to that. Went out with a Pig Jigs torpedo spinnerbait, and ended up catching me one. And then no others. I couldn't successfully put a bag together.
But broke the skunk.
But it broke the skunk, which was nice. And always feels good to get on the BFS combo. That's just going up in the ranks of my favorite combo, and my favorite stuff to fish. And then so I had success at the church pond that day. So I decided Thursday after work, I was like, we're going to hit that church pond up again. And BFS combo again. Went around with the Pig Jigs and spinnerbait. That's because what I had tied on the torpedo spinner, and I didn't have any luck. So I made a full lap around the pond, no luck. And when I was debating, I was like, moving bait, we're gonna go to finesse. And I stuck with. I actually just combined the two, went finesse moving bait, and went with a ball head and a new paddle tail to me, which is the Spark Shad, I think is the name of it, by Mega Bass. I called it out on our story yesterday. I think it's the Spark Shad, but all I gotta tell you is this is gonna be. Oh man, it may replace the big. Well, I'm not gonna say it's gonna replace Big Joshy, but it's definitely going to do. Listen, dude. Listen, hold on. So this paddle tail has side fins, almost like how the mag drafts do.
Mm-hmm.
And when you are rolling at about medium or slow speed, it just shimmies like this as it's coming through the water. It's insane action. And lo and behold, I ended up catching 2 on that on my second pass around at the church pond on Thursday. And dude, and of course, my wife picked that lure out.
Of course. That's how it goes.
Of course I go home and have to tell her this. So that's kudos to you. But she knows how to pick them. I don't know how, but she does.
I know. I mean, she's got to be able to pick something good after she picked you.
So then that's all I caught that day. I didn't even try throwing anything else. After I got those catches, I kind of just rolled out because it's dinner time. You know how that be. When it gets to be dinner time, it's like, no, dude, I need to get out of here. I don't care. I'm out. So that was yesterday, and then now we're on to today. And your boy has had a blast of a day today. So I get off before James. James gets off like a few hours after me. So our recording session's always there's a gap for me. So you guys know, I go fishing all the time. So I went fishing, and I returned to the scene of the crime from last weekend, and I just put a whooping on him. Your spot that you caught him on last weekend is still cooking up, dude. I don't know what it is about that section of the pond, but
It's right next to those little docks.
Yeah, it's literally like you cast it to like 3 foot off of from those docks, and I just let it drop all the way to the bottom, and I just slow rolled it all the way back, and I got 2, and then I walked around to the other side, and I threw the opposite way of the docks, and I got 1, and I got 1 more bite, and I missed it because I yanked it right out of his mouth like an idiot. And then I was on my way out because I knew you were getting off, and I was like, well, I'll just hit the same spot. First cast, got a bite, yanked it out of his mouth. I was like, son of a bitch, this better not become a pattern right now. I'm like, whatever. Next cast, grabbed it again, reeled her in. So I was throwing a Pig Jigs chatterbait, but I was throwing a 1/4 ounce in their Gill 2.0, I want to say the color is. And I was pairing that up with a Bellows Vibe. Green pump or AJ's juice.
No.
I quite like it. I think I'm gonna make a little bit of a modification to it to see if I get a little bit more of what I'm looking for out of it. But I do like it. I think it bulks up your chatterbait.
Oh yeah.
It really bulks your chatterbait up because it took that 1/4 ounce probably up to 3/8 at least, which was fine. I didn't have to wait for as long. But I did. Best part is there was these like they had to be like teenagers or young 20s fishing across the way. And then a guy fishing ultralight, and he caught a couple small ones on the other side. He yells at the kid, "Oh, cast over here, you catch them." When I caught that last one, the kid was like, "Hey, what you catching them on?" And I was like, "I ain't telling you. You can take all my fish." But of course, if you know me, I will tell you. I don't care. I want you to have the same opportunity that I have. So I told him what I had. I told him I had a chatterbait. Didn't tell him what color, what trailer. And I told him I was slow rolling it on the bottom. And then I proceeded to reel in and let him know, have fun, boys, because I was out to come to this recording. And that leads us up to now. So I caught 4 while I was out there today. 3 out of the same spot you were catching them out of.
Yeah, I'm not jealous at all that that's what you were doing while I was working.
Hey, man, you know what? What time do you go in?
8.
Yeah, I go in at 6.
I know. I'd love to go in at 6 and be out there fishing at 3.
Talk to your employers.
Yeah,
Listen,
yeah.
James's employers, 6 to 2:30. That's what we're looking for here.
A half-hour lunch. Yeah, no.
Hour lunch would kill me. I'd become so bored.
I usually sit and listen to a podcast.
I'd become so bored.
Only a little bit of time I have to sit and do nothing for
the difference between me and you is like my job, I can have a headphone in predominantly the whole day.
Yeah.
And I just kind of put podcast on.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, I gotta send you the one to listen to today. I think it was Wendell Fishing's podcast. He just had the other guys on that just started the podcast, but they're all about the scientific side of it, of bass. And dude, learning about like how bass see color, very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. I also listened to the Mercer podcast this week with Dylan Nutt. You know, that boy.
Half the Nut Brothers.
He's one ball of the Nut Brothers.
Yeah. One of the nuts.
He's half sack. But yeah, that's been my week. And we got plans to fish this weekend. Let's hope this warming trend. I think they're on. I'm fingers crossed, toes crossed, nuts crossed.
Keep your eyes on the Instagram this week, and hopefully you'll see how good our fishing this weekend
actually
goes.
You will see it probably over the weekend, but we'll save a little bit to post throughout the week so you guys can see that. Because we gotta get better at figuring out how that works with recording all that. I hate saving them. I just want to show it, right?
You throw the pictures on the weekend. Wait while I edit some short videos to do during
the week. If you give me some better dialogue for the videos, that doesn't feel like that I did it on the weekend, that it happened during the week. I can do that.
Okay.
Or be like, look at the Donkosauruses we were sketching. Oh man, I just burped right into the mic. I apologize, all listeners.
In my face.
That's okay. I haven't eaten anything all day.
Oh,
man, my wife, I love my wife to death. She makes me a lunch every morning. Has made me a lunch every morning. And she makes it at 5 o'clock in the morning. So I'm like not mad at her at this at all. And there's like no, like I wouldn't even notice this. But I go to take my first bite of my sandwich. big ass spot of mold right on the bread. I was like,
Oh.
God almighty.
I've done it before making my own lunch.
No, the worst is when you eat the whole sucker and then you get to the corner of the end and you're like,
Well, I mean, if you don't taste mold till then, it
Shit.
was probably only on that corner.
Yeah,
You can't miss the taste of mold.
Yeah, well, see, that was the thing. I was like, oh, I was like, it was on the outside. So I was like, screw it. I'll rip the sandwich in half and eat the inside. Took my first bite, and as my nose got close to it, I was like, no, I smell like mold. Ain't no way.
Yeah.
Ain't no way. So yeah, I haven't had much to eat today, and that's why I'm happy that this is a little bit of a shorter recording for this section. So
on that note,
take us to the Donk Express. Who's going first?
I got the smaller load, I think. I could say I got the smaller package.
Oh man, I know one thing. That caught me off guard. I was not expecting you to say that, but yeah, your load's smaller.
It is. So I finally made a first purchase from AVF Tackle.
Sick.
It's a small one.
Good old Joe
but
Brown.
It's our first purchase, and there definitely will be more.
Oh yeah.
So I just ordered a few hags jigs to start try out, because I keep hearing how good that hags hurricane is on their bladed jig there. In the beautiful what color was that they call that one again? Movie thumb? Hags bluegill.
I'm gonna see if I can't get it closer.
Yeah.
If it'll be better, if they can get a little bit better.
The paint on that head, the coloring on the head of that jig, I love.
Oh yeah, you can kind of see it.
Yeah. So yeah, actually Joe was talking it up quite a bit on their episode a couple weeks ago, and that's why I went on a play stick, because it sounded so good.
Yeah, this is nice.
Got it in the 3/8. I got them all in 3/8, because I also picked up the Hags Tsunami all around jig in the Hubbard Craw, which is mostly just a green pumpkin coloring for the most part.
Unfortunately, you can't see the ready flakes.
Yeah, with red flake.
What if I can't get her to dance for you? Oh, you can now.
Oh yeah, there you go.
There we go. You see the red shimmer, ladies and gentlemen. You see that red shimmer.
And picked up the Tsunami Jig swim jig in the beautiful, beautiful perch.
That
is going to be tasty. Love the swim jig.
I might eat that.
And surprised, they threw in a Joe Brown AVF bottle opener. Nice metal.
Hold on. Your finger was literally over Joe's name.
Of course it was.
There we go. Is that better?
That is fantastic.
Boom. That's nice.
Yeah, that's a nice bottle opener.
That is. You get a sticker and a bottle?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Which I did order it right before the Classic as well. And of course, as we all know, he was gone for the Classic. So I got a little handwritten note on my invoice thanking me for my patience while he was at the Classic.
I can't wait to hear the next Jigs and Bigs episode here about his.
Oh yes.
I heard I think he roomed with Beast Coast.
I heard leading up to it, he had an Airbnb that somebody else who was fishing the tournament was in the other house.
But I'm pretty sure Bobby said this week that it turns out it wasn't somebody fishing it. It was Beast Coast.
Okay.
Which is Beast Coast Jigs.
Yeah.
But he's wire tied hand tied.
Yeah.
Wire tied. That's sick. And dude, yeah, Joe, you're doing it right, man. A bottle opener and a sticker. You just know how to do it. Don't worry, I'll be putting my order in soon. But so I haven't ordered from AVF yet, but there's a lot on there that I want. I gotta slow my roll. So we'll just start with the first items I got. Let's see if we leave them out. So the first items I got in the mail, I had to put in an order at Dark Horse Tackle. Last week we got the G-Rat rocker, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's been something else G-Rat I got.
Oh, you picked up one of those? Nope, those weren't G-Rat.
What was it? There was something else, man.
We had the jerkbait in the February.
That's what it was. It was a jerkbait. So I keep seeing them get a lot of things from G-Rat, so I had to pick up some stuff. So the first thing that I'll talk about is I picked up, I think you already got one of these, but I picked up.
Yeah, I think somebody, Kyle got me
Kyle
one for
got it
Christmas.
for Christmas. So I got myself the Pistol Pete 2.0 and JP. As you all know, we're trying to get into the glide bait, swim bait game. This is kind of a smaller downsize, a little bit more friendlier for my my normal setup. Don't have to really bring out my swim bait setup for this. Also, a lot cheaper. It's only $20 for this, so if you lose it, it doesn't feel as bad. I lost. Can we get a big old RIP? I lost the Artisan Gill that James gifted me for my birthday last year. If you guys didn't see that, that was or listen to that, it happened live on the podcast. But yeah, unfortunately, RIP. Matt's gonna have to replace. So yeah, this was just one to add to the arsenal. I think it's gonna be sick. I've seen some videos. I kind of went and watched a couple of videos of like how it swims and everything. I think it's gonna be good. So this might be one of the earlier ones I put on my regular medium heavy bait caster. And then the last thing is actually, are you excited?
Oh, I'm so excited. I've
dude.
been eyeing these ever since the announcement.
God, so like when they dropped the video of this, so if you guys don't know, they are now carrying, let's see if I can do this in one hand, the Weber. And as you know, me and James are dice bait, well, I wouldn't say fanatics, but we do quite enjoy the dice bait. Now, these are made out of TPE, so they're going to float. Also, it's kind of like the Quakey. It's got the rod through it, so I'm assuming it's going to have the hole through the middle. So a lot of different rigging techniques, man. I even saw Mike Iaconelli suck off a weight and put it in the middle. Yeah.
Some guy putting it on,
and then it's a line through, and then you put a treble hook under the bottom, tie it to a treble hook, it's underneath it.
Yeah.
Crazy. I'm not doing that though. You know what we're doing, which actually is, you and I both forgot about this. There is another part of the Donk Express.
Well,
it's just terminal tackle.
I mean, we don't normally highlight the terminal tackle,
but you just show
a
like,
few weights for the free rig and a few different sizes.
Yep.
And some nice finesse hooks to go along with that.
And what are we doing with those, James?
We are going to make our own little free rig for floating dice baits.
Yes, I think it's going to work super well. So this is the green pumpkin. Nice green pumpkin, red flake. You can't really see the red with this box. And then this, I think they called natural trout, rainbow trout maybe. I can't remember exactly, but I know that this was the color my wife picked. So just so you guys know, this is probably going to be the juice.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, TPE floating. So what will happen with that is we'll hook it with a finesse hook and have that weight so it'll float off the bottom. And I think it's going to be really enticing. I think it's going to work super well during the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Bed fishing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't do much of that really, to be honest. But if it's that time of year, I'll throw up shallow.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sight fish it, but I'll throw up shallow. Yeah. So yeah, these are going to be the sauce. I can just tell. And what I really like about these is if you look at the end of the appendages, they have a bulb on it, dude.
That's what caught my eye in the first place.
And this is the first one I've used because I don't have any koi keys or anything. I've used mainly the Q-Bomb and the Tumbleweed. But those are all like silicone material, like skirting material. This is all TPE. So this is, dude, the video that they have in the tank on Dark Horse Tackle. Jeepers, creepers. Yeah, Dark Horse Tackle, thank you. Thank you so much for carrying this one.
But yes, I did see the other day people putting their dice baits on a like swimming jig head, unskirted.
Yep, same.
And it almost looks just like a skirt, and they'll jerk it through the water like a jerk bait.
We've been saying this whole time. Like it's literally it's a jig, but you don't have to put on the soft plastic to get that kind of like realistic look. You just fucking get it all in one package.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Now, the last thing I purchased, I actually purchased from the company that makes them. But just so you know, they are also now available at Dark Horse Tackle as well. And I had totally ordered it before they announced it. I had no idea they were going to have it. I'm I don't think I would have waited. I was super excited for this, so I picked him up right away. Let's get the, I guess we'll show it first before we show what you need for it. So the first thing I got here is the Sack Pig, what is it? The Swim Frat, which I don't know if that's, oh, there we go. I don't know if that means floating rat. I don't know if that's frog rat. I don't know what it is, but.
Or the swim fraternity.
Yeah, could be as well. So what these are a 4.7 inch paddle tail top water or swim mate. They're made out of TPE, so they are going to float. And it comes with, at the bottom here, it comes with harnesses for the nose that you put on your BKK Titan Diver, ADOT specifically, actually. And I'm going to use this probably weightless. I'll mess around with the weighted, but I'm probably going to take the weight off of it. You're going to take the screw lock off. You're going to put this on, and then you're going to put this in here. And he has a video on his webpage or on Dark Horse Tackle as well. They have a video of how to actually get this pin in and what the correct way of rigging it is and what it looks like when you're done. So you can really, really see it. These are going to be sick, dude. I had to get the multicolor pack because I had a hard time deciding which color I wanted. Also, my throat is getting dry. Red Bull. Also, dude, the artwork on the actual case is kind of sick. And the design is super cool. I've already opened these, so we're going to just pull one out. You have to watch out, though, because, yeah, I did the same thing I did last time. This is going to be fun. You can look at that while I fix this. Because, ladies and gentlemen, if you open this up the wrong way, you will drop all of the harnesses right out of the box. So, careful on that one. What you think there, James?
That is
interesting, isn't it?
Yes. It's even got whiskers.
Yeah. Oh, shit. I'm trying to drop all my harnesses. Yeah, that TPE, dude. This is, I think, so also, you don't think you noticed it, but I'm going to try to show this to the camera. I don't know if you can, but did you see what it said on the bottom? Bass Heart Rats. It says, can you see it? No, you're not going to be able to see it.
No.
No. But yes, it says Bass Hearts Rats on the bottom, which I thought was like really, really cool. But me and James have been like having a rough time frog fishing the last couple of years. And that's not as in like, oh, you can't catch them. No, we've had a couple, but we just haven't had as much luck. We found some real cheesy ponds, but just not as much luck. That might get smashed. And even just like open water. I have a couple ponds by me that I've actually seen like field mice like dive in and take a dip. So
they'll eat anything.
Except shoes.
That's pigs.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, so that's the Donk Express this week. I don't have anything else. And I'll be honest, I don't think I will have anything else for a while.
It might be a little bit.
Yeah, I like the only thing I need is terminal tackle, and you guys are gonna find that boring. I get BKK hooks or owner hooks, and then I use a lot of JDM weights, but I'm gonna try out some new weight companies. So I guess if I find a good one, I'll let you guys know. But other than that, yeah, it's gonna kind of just come to a halt until we like go out for a day and we think that the chatterbait's gonna be amazing and we lose 5. And then we just hit up our new favorite chatterbait location, which whether it be James's Hags.
Yeah, I can't wait to get that.
What is it? Hurricane?
The Hags Hurricane, Jay.
Yeah.
With that nice jackhammer style.
Yeah, the straight connection to the nugget. You see it? Straight connection to the nugget. Which I will say, that's why I like the Deeks.
The Deeks, yeah.
I'm not gonna diss Pig Jesus though, because
obviously just catching.
True, but I will not be able to have a little bit of a blowout issue if you reel too fast. But you know me, I like to slow roll a chatterbait.
Yeah.
I always do. So it's got great vibration, and the paint job held up. I nicked into a lot of rocks and didn't lose any paint.
Oh, sorry, Beach Boys just in my head.
Which one?
Good vibrations.
That was gonna be in my head.
Yep, you're welcome.
All right.
So that brings us to what we haven't even mentioned yet this episode. That we're gonna have a guest.
We have a guest. As guest this episode, we have a man who learned his fishing basics in Indiana and honed those skills here in Ohio. He may have actually written the book on bass fishing.
We unknowingly crossed paths with him at the Columbus Fishing Expo this year, and then met him at the Hamilton Bait and Tackle Open House just a couple weeks ago.
Now, you may know this individual from the Dark Horse Tackle Pro staff, or maybe you've heard him on a Jigs and Bigs episode in the E Live Well. It's the one and only Eli Self. What is up, Eli?
Hey.
How's it going?
Not too bad. You know, we're just enjoying the Ohio weather.
It's crazy.
It really is. I keep telling people that Ohio is just bipolar and doesn't really know what it wants to do yet. But hopefully it'll be switching out of this cold, snowy weather, and then we get some warm weather. I think this week we're supposed to get some warm weather, at least towards the weekend.
Yeah, I got a text from a buddy of mine. He's like, "You want to go fishing? I want to get some crappie in the fridge." He goes, "It's supposed to look nice, or it's supposed to be nice this weekend." And I was in the middle of being outside, walking to my car. I'm like, "Sure,
Sure?
7, but sure."
Yeah, it's crazy to think that we're going to be mid to high 60s on the weekend, and we're 27.
It's wild. I know they say, like, I asked this question on Jigs and Bigs recently, but I know it's water temperature solely, but it's got to jack up these fish.
Yes,
when it goes.
I agree.
I mean, now that we have had some days that have strung together a little bit, so I know the water temperature is dipping. But I mean, you heard it. If you watched the classic, there was a couple guys that were talking about how they weren't in spots they thought they were because of the rain and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I mean I have to agree with you. I think the weather has to affect, like, the way our weather has been going up and down so much. It has to affect somehow, some way, whether that be the water temp or what the bass are thinking. But it has to change something. This guy got some over the weekend though.
I did get a few catches on.
Yeah, so they're still munching. It's just not very much. So you just got to hit those key windows. But I want to get our first icebreaker question and our only icebreaker in the beginning. We're going to try to ask everybody that we interview this question. So the question is, what is your current favorite setup and what is tied on that setup?
So favorite rod reel setup right now is medium heavy, around 7.1 to 7.3, because right now I have two different medium heavies that I switch between. But a swim jig. I've been throwing a swim jig a lot. And it's funny because I would have not said that a year ago. I've kind of learned how to skip one, kind of by accident. It skipped and I went, "Oh, let's try to figure out how to do that again."
Let's do that again.
And then there's just, I mean, I love a swim jig. I know how many different jigs there are: Arky head, flipping jig, all that stuff, and buy 1.5 million jigs. But at the same time, like, I think you can do a lot with one if you just are like, okay, I'm just gonna fish this. And so a swim jig, specifically the Bass Dope swim jig from Dark Horse.
Okay.
And then there's two different trailers that I love, and one of them is Cliff Place is Black Label Baits, the CP crawl.
Okay.
And then there's also one. It's nice that I'm sitting next to all my baits. It's the J. Corin Mule. So this or this one. So they're both. If you pull them, I'll just go ahead and pull them out. They're both. So this is the Mule.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, I'll pull out the other one in a second, but you'll see they're very similar. So, I mean, wide bottom to it. And then what I like about this too is because they're sectioned off, I'll pinch part of it off a little bit, depending on if I want a bigger profile or a smaller profile. If you take these off, they punch right through grass really well.
Okay.
And you can rip them through weeds, you can rip them over just different stuff. I know I've been trying to go back in podcasts of your guys's, and heard you guys talking about feeling the difference between sticks and rocks and all that stuff.
Yep.
And the amount of bites I've gotten ticking over rocks or pulling over a branch, and like 4 years ago, Eli would have been hook setting on that because I thought it was a bass.
Yep.
And ticking it, and then they hit it almost right after. But this is the Black Label CP crawl. So a little bit slimmer of a profile, but also a very similar style.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. That's got to be a good punch and bait too.
Yeah. And then Dark Horse has been doing a green pumpkin purple.
Purple, that's like their specialty color, right?
And it's been something about a natural, but then a little bit different to it. It probably sells me, but at the same time, something I have confidence in. So
I think it's a good bluegill imitator, personally. Yeah. I love that color. It's been one of my favorites in a swim jig color, like the green pumpkin with like strands of purple in it. It's been like my go-to swim jig. And for me and James, the swim jig was predominantly what we cut our teeth on the bait caster for the beginning years once we started getting back into it. But I'm a little bit different than you. I like a paddle tail on the back of my swim jig. I don't typically do a crawl. James likes the crawl. I like a paddle tail on the back of mine.
I think it depends. It's funny because I have all these baits because it's winter and I'm just messing with baits all the time. But I have all these right here. Just a ball head with a big Joshy paddle tail. It's how I cut this in Dirty. I think we've talked about this, but this in Dirty Money.
Yep.
Caught my first smallmouth, taking it across the bottom. But this is when I throw paddle tails like this, it's usually a ball head. I'll throw on the back of a swim jig, but it solely depends. It's just that one's the most recent and probably the one I've caught the most on. And this is that swim jig.
Ooh, is that the bass dope?
Yeah. So I mean,
I think I got one of those at the expo. I think.
Yeah, this is. I mean, you can see how flat that side is. You can skip that thing a mile.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
And then it just runs through things super easily. And then if you open it up, I mean, I love that hook keeper.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When you have.
I'm a fan of that kind of hook keeper, but what I do is I tend to bend it down a little bit, so I have a feeling that sometimes it rips my plastic too much, so I bend it just a little bit to where it kind of comes back at you. I don't know why, but it's kept my plastics on a little bit better over the years.
Yeah, it's funny because I mean you talk to different guys on Dark Horse and I mean I say Dark Horse, but you talk to anybody, and what I did in college was sit down because that was the time that I was like, okay, I don't know as much about bass fishing as I thought I did. So I sat down and I have a binder somewhere. I don't know where it is anymore. It's about this thick, full of just information. And now some of it's like really good, continue to use. I mean, all of it is. But at the same time, I realized how much of it is not law. It is like,
right.
I had a buddy fishing a drop shot. It was a kid that I took out and he's fishing it and I'm looking, I'm going, that is not how you fish a drop shot. He proceeded out and catch all of us.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Who was it? Matt from the cast who would say the fish don't read the same books we do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm with you. I used a lot of dice baits last year, and I mean, I caught tons of fish on them and couldn't believe that I was catching fish on something that looked like a little octopus or like a little spider. I was like, what does this even look like in the water? So I think some days the rules, they're easy to follow and like they work, but some days you just throw the rules out and you can catch anything at any time. But I guess that kind of brings us into my question, which kind of one of the questions I had for you, which is what was your beginnings in fishing, and did anybody really start your fishing bug for you?
Yeah, so it kind of goes back to my grandpa. When he retired, he was a teacher. He was a longtime teacher, and when he retired, my grandma got him a trailer on a pond in southern Indiana, and he had a little John boat. Um, and on that side of the family, I was the one grandson, so it was always go hang out with your grandpa.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
and it was an ugly cast reel, ugly stick rod, 5.6 button cast reel, and plow jockey worms. So pre-rigged worms. Put the speed clip, loop the thing on there, and throw it out, and just chuck and wind. And then did that with my dad, did it with my grandpa a lot. I have photos that I found, and I remember the fish. I have fished probably from as long as I can remember, but that was it. That was what I did for the longest time. And I remember this wasn't the one that like got me hooked necessarily, but it was probably the most memorable. Is I was standing on a neighbor's dock, caught one, and it might have been a 3-pounder. It wasn't that big at the time, or now since, and screaming, "Dad!" Because I didn't think I landed. Dad! He was inside. We get it in. I have a picture with it, but then so that's kind of how I started. And then when I was in college, I got quarantined one time, and I had slowly but surely just been like fishing around, still same, almost exact same, uh, ugly stick, spin casts, rod and reel. And this was when I was 13. I went to Minnesota, so I went with that, and still was throwing plow jockey worms, through a Rebel Wheat Crawl a little bit, but again, didn't have no idea what I was doing. Knew how to unhook them and all that stuff, but other than that, knew nothing. And so I was quarantined in college, and I was like, okay, how much do I really know about bass fishing? And that's when that binder started. That's when I started going, okay, let's get into this a little bit. And so that started with a Lew's carbon fire rod and reel. And then I just now got I'm starting to replace some of those old ones, the pro qualifiers, and some of those entry ones that are still really awesome, really great. But they're starting to wear and tear a little bit. So I'm starting to replace them. And I just got a Daiwa Tatula SV 150. And then there's a company out of Texas called U-Call Rods.
Okay.
Good company. They're just not very well known. And so they had a big sale this weekend, and so got some of those, but slowly but surely upgrading. So that's kind of been, so that was sophomore year of college. So that would have been probably 6 years ago. So, and then it's been increasing from there.
Okay. All right. Now you said something about a bind. Oh, I see the wall.
Because that is the now only half of it obsession, and I'm a tackle junkie, and it's become ridiculous, and it's been nuts from there. But
oh, I get it. I can't stop buying tackle, especially if you ask my wife. She's like, you never stop buying tackle. I'm like, well, there's always something new on the market, you know. I mean, I just got these in.
I was about to ask about those.
I just got these in. Yeah, I'm excited for these so much.
Yeah, we got to mess with them at the Classic and was asking about them because G-Rat was there.
I've seen that they released like a massive swim bait, soft swim bait. I forget the name of it. Yeah, it was like 9 or 10 inches.
There was a hard swim bait too that was there. I mean, like I have to back up. It was so big. It was that. I don't think that's an exaggeration. It was about this big, and I don't know if it was a joke or what, because there was multiples of them. It wasn't just one that they made for display. Because I know like Berkeley does like
the jerk baits, like Rapala does the massive jerk baits.
Yeah, they like 3D print those, and it was painted. It had hooks on it, so I don't know if it was a joke or serious, but it was a giant swim bait.
What are you catching with that, tarpon?
No idea.
Snook, like massive snook. That's
They're-
crazy. You're not
They're a
catching large
California
snook.
company, so I mean,
Oh, okay.
some of those bass out there. I
The
mean,
Delta,
when you're
clear
eating
leg.
trout like that, I mean, I guess you'll eat it. Plus, I mean, you talk about like that Weber. It's like even when you go that small too, or when you go that big, because you get the extremes. It's a reaction bite.
Yep.
It's not. I'm hunting it, looking at it, going all this, and I've talked to so many people about because there's a. This is my buddy who makes this. He's from Cincinnati. I've talked.
So
It's John
sick.
John. It's John John's
Yeah,
Outdoors.
we've talked about John before. Yeah.
This is a smaller version of something that I've thrown, and it got me into realizing like, oh, they eat big baits.
Yeah.
And
It took me an 18-inch worm to learn that.
yeah.
Even small, I caught like a bass like this freaking big on it, and I was like, okay, so they will literally eat anything. All right.
And he was talking to me. He's like, Eli, you got to realize they don't have hands, and so if they want to look at it, if they want to feel it, they're gonna eat it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that makes sense. And then like half the time, like that Weber and I mean a lot of this stuff that doesn't necessarily resemble a perfect bait fish or something like that. He's like, you're just trying to piss them off.
Yep. You're just trying to make them angry. I've found with like the dice baits, oh man, sometimes nothing will make them more mad than those suckers. And I've found a lot of people like to use them like weightless or like a bottom presentation. But I've found even if you use them kind of like a jerk bait, you just kind of jerk them and reel them. Dude, I don't know what it is, but you can tick off a lot of moving bass that way, and they'll latch onto it. So I'm super excited for the Weber. That was something I like when it came out on Dark Horse's website. I knew I would be picking it up.
Yeah.
With having the last box with like the executioner in it and the rocker, is that the name of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got it somewhere. I tried to place it right in front of me so I'd have it. Oh, here they are. Yeah, I know you said you guys weren't spoiling the box, but here we go. Let's spoil it right now.
Spoil it up. I think you're allowed to. You're a pro.
If you haven't, I was like, if you haven't seen what's in the box yet, then you either need to get the box, or you're just living under a rock. But
100%.
I say So
I want to see if you got different colors in this. That's what I'm really excited about.
So this is the executioner.
Dude, that thing is so sick.
Which I'm excited to throw this thing.
Oh yeah, I've already got it tied on.
And then, I love, and I'm so excited that they have this.
Yes.
Because anything with that straight tail, I mean, it's got a split tail. It's like a fluke, but I mean, that tail will just sit there and just quiver.
It looks really good on the back of that, the cheapskate. We're trying to do like extra content with the box by doing a little extra video with it and do some fishing with it. Yeah. And we took it out last weekend when it was like 30 degrees and went fishing with everything. And I'm not gonna lie, dude, the rocker on the back of the cheapskate looks amazing. I have not tried that trailer yet though.
But there's that green pumpkin. It's not purple, but it's a black and blue flake.
Yeah, it looks sick. That right there. I'm super excited to like punch with. It's pretty streamlined.
Yeah,
and we don't get too weedy around here, just enough to fall in that light weed. Oh yeah, it's gonna be nice.
I say, and then you got the cheapskate, which I didn't even think about this until I was messing around with it, and then I looked at it a little closer, and I was like, oh my gosh, they've already jumped on that connection.
Oh, yes, they have. And it's such a world of difference. Such a world of difference. I'm not gonna lie, I've quite fallen in love with the cheapskate so far. I haven't got any fish on it yet, but that'll change.
I say,
what is Eli's favorite bait on the Dark Horse Tackle website?
Well, I mean, it's hard to beat that swim jig. So the evolution from college till now has been interesting. Anything Texas rig for a long time.
Okay. Confidence bait, gotcha.
After I learned kind of what I was doing, anything Texas rig was a big deal. I mean, I caught my PB on a green pumpkin chartreuse tip Texas worm, which
Okay.
I still laugh about because I spend all this money, buy all this tackle, and then one of the simplest baits ever is what I catch my PB on.
Right. I get it.
So there's Texas rig was that for a while. Square bills are huge for me. I've gotten a couple. This is a Robusto Customs
Yeah, I was about to say Robusto Customs.
paint job.
That's a nice paint job.
This resembles one that I've had that was in the box, and then I got him to paint me a few more.
Okay.
This is another one that I love. It's the Icon from
I like the color.
Catch. If you notice that it's not connected to the bill, and so it swims like it deflects and hunts so much differently than a normal
square bill.
And again, that swim jig or anything ticking and then going a different direction or hitting rock or hitting stuff like that. And I've caught so many doing that. So you said pick a favorite, and I'm still going because this is another.
Is that the Koosh ball?
Yeah.
Bladed jig? I have yet to get one of those. And now with having a BFS combo, I really need to get one. That's from H&H Custom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And then
it looks sick.
Yeah, and then you got the Tantrum. I think it's Rage. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it's just that short little crawl on it.
That's nice. You'd like that person.
Oh yeah.
I like that. That's sick. Didn't HH Custom just do a bunch of Koosh balls?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. I need to hop on that because the little bladed jig Bobby talks so much about it. I'm like, okay, I have some from Pig Jigs. They're really nice. But I also got to hop on that one. So now that we've asked you what your favorite bait is on Dark Horse Tackle website, what's your favorite non-bait that's on Dark Horse Tackle?
So favorite bait that's not on Dark Horse Tackle. That is hard because I don't know if I've.
No, I mean more like not a bait from Dark Horse, but like the other items that they offer. So like the broken twigs, things like that. What's your favorite that's not a lure?
Okay, so that makes sense now. So it is funny because before this weekend, it was probably the broken twigs landing net.
Okay.
Hold on, let me grab it.
I want to see what's sticky.
So I will say this is coming. So this isn't on the website yet, but the company is on the website. This is a prototype that I got from, I don't know if you know Tyler's Real Fishing.
Yeah.
So I met him 2 years ago at the Classic. Talked to him, DM'd him a bunch. But so this is the Evolution Fishing Terminal Tackle Box, but it is the smaller version.
Oh, that's nice. That is nice.
This is so all of what I love is these don't come out.
Oh.
And it's the awesome thing is like you've got a kind of a row for like weights and stuff like that, and then you've got some bigger ones. But I love this because I just bought, which is funny because so he gave me this at the Classic, and then I just bought the bigger version.
Oh, the bigger version? Nice.
But what I love too, and we talked about wading rivers, is I'll throw this in the kayak and then take this bank fishing or take this wading, stuff like that. But having both, like as this one as like a main, what do I have? This one as like a grab and go is probably going to be a new favorite of mine. Honestly, I'm trying to with the whole now with GoPro, the Nakwa stuff, I'm trying to look into. I'm trying to think of what's. I just got a kayak cushion.
Okay.
That was the Yak Gadget.
Yep, one of the Yak Gadget items.
So, but the one I've gotten the most use out of fishing last year was that landing net.
Yeah, the broken twigs landing net. Like for the boat, I think that's one of the ones that we've been looking to get into. I love that it's got the netting that you can't get your hooks into. I think it's super cool using a hockey stick. I mean, I'm not a hockey player or really like hockey, but I think it's a cool way to utilize something that's probably already just like thrown out.
Mm-hmm.
So when I saw those hit the website, I knew eventually we'd probably end up picking up one for the boat. But I just always I think it's kind of cool since you're a pro staff member to hear like what your favorite items are, to kind of get like your a little bit from you. But you had said earlier that you made a binder. Just a bunch of info. Where did you get all the info from? Did you just was it just like straight web searching and reading, or did you take it from YouTube? Did you take it from podcasts? Where did you get all your information from?
Yes. All the above.
Okay.
Because if like for a while there, it was just a project of mine. I've showed Andrew Hayes because it came a lot from Tackle Talk. I've shown Zach and Josh from Dark Horse just because I wanted them to check it out and see what they thought about it. And then so podcasts between Tackle Talk, Bass Talk Live, trying to think of some of the other ones. Jigs and Bigs has been part of it because I still throw some stuff into it. Because it's mainly the other thing too is it's me studying. It's not always me. Like I don't think I've ever once been like, wait, what did I write down here? Because I know it now and it's something I'm passionate about, and so it doesn't take me writing it 3 or 4 times. I read it, write it down once, and I got it. And so that's a lot of it. So Tackle Talk, Jigs and Bigs, Bass Talk Live, and then in terms of looking stuff up, Wired to Fish.
Wired to Fish is a great place.
Fluke Master was a big one. Gene Jensen was a huge one in the beginning. I mean, because the thing is a lot of those videos, if you look, and they've gotten better, they're either beginner or they're so far advanced. And I'm like, early on I was somewhere in between. I would still say I'm very much somewhere in between. I'm a little farther closer to advanced now and kind of understanding all that. But he did a really good job of breaking it down, but also not being like, this is how you make a cast. This is how you unhook a fit. It was more of like entry level language, but more complex stuff.
Okay.
And so he was a big one. Wired to Fish. I'm trying to think of Tactical Bassin.
Yep, Matt over there is always a good one to listen to.
I was trying to think of it because I could remember the entire intro, but I could not remember the name of it. So that was a big one. And then honestly, DMing people, like asking. I know with Bass Talk Live, Frank Scalish used to be on the Elite Series. I've never thrown a Carolina rig, and to be honest, I don't know if I ever will. But I have a page on Carolina rigs, and I would just DM back and forth with him, like, "Hey, what about this? What about this situation? Why do you need this glass bead, or why do you need this, or what's the best with this or that?" And so doing a lot of that. It's funny too because now that AI has come out in the past 2 years, I have the binder pulled up, and I was just sitting in class because I'm a teacher, and so I was sitting in class and I was looking at what AI would pull up.
Yeah.
And how similar it was. Now, mind you, do got to look at, you can't take it for exact word, but how similar that was. And I go, that would have saved me like hours of doing this.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was fun. I love doing it. And so, I mean, podcasts, websites, YouTube, just talking to people is really how that got made.
It sounds like it was made from grassroots. It sounds like you just took the time and reaching out to people and just absorbing as much knowledge as you can. I'm sure it sounds like that binder is full of freaking knowledge, man. especially listening to the podcast you listen to. I listen to a similar podcast. I have abundant time to listen, and that's where this started. But I think that's really cool that you actually took the time to like write it all out, so you can go back and reference it if you ever want to, and like you said, or throw it out like you can. So if you were to say like what your style of fishing is, what is your favorite style of fishing? Are you a power fisherman? Do you like finesse fishing? Like where do you find yourself most of the time?
I would say I power fish probably the most, lean more towards finesse, depending on the situation, but probably power fish. I feel like they say a lot of times you power fish and you fish fast.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I necessarily look at power fishing as the technique in like a medium heavy rod to a heavy rod and stuff like that. I don't fish fast. I fish, and maybe it's because I fish ponds, and so I don't feel like there's not as much water to cover, and so I'm fishing a
Yep.
little bit slower.
Yep.
But like I will, and maybe to a fault, I will break down a spot at nauseum and just cast, wind, 2 feet to the left, cast, wind, and I'm like, I know I've probably already blown this spot up, but I keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And then so power fishing a lot. I've leaned into finesse a little bit. Ned rigs was a big thing for me this past year.
Love the Ned rig.
Just doing that. There's a few of mine that I've really liked this year, but Fish or Die makes a really good one. And then I mean, just like this HH,
Yep.
just go downsizing some of that stuff a little bit.
Downsizing.
And then also finesse is in the fact of like just slowing down. Like this one right here, I mean, you could chuck and wind and almost power fish this, but at the same time, I was at Buddy's house throwing it. There was a little canal that opened up to the main lake, and I was throwing it across, hitting the bank almost, pulling it in, and then just jigging it down a little bit, and then popping it really quick. And some of those pops would get that bite. And so fishing this one more as a jig with a blade instead of a bladed jig was kind of a big one for me. So yeah, power fishing more of into finesse is kind of where I lean.
Okay. I get that. I'm a finesse guy. I love finesse fishing. I mean, obviously, I like power fishing as well, but I find myself doing a lot more finesse just because of the area we're in. Our ponds are super pressured around here, so I get like the not being able to cover as much water. So I tend to pick apart areas a lot just with Nico rigs and Ned rigs, free rigs, just a lot more of that lighter tackle. But don't get me wrong, I enjoy a good day's worth of power fishing. If you can get on that bite, oh man, yeah, it can be a good time. Now you said something earlier about catching on that crawler from John John's. I just wanted to throw out real quick because I wanted to say it earlier. I didn't get to say it. Have you seen the working? Is it his working man's glide bait that you can? And also so a swim bait too as well. Like you can buy the separate
blue collar. It's called the blue collar gill.
That's what it is.
And it is essentially a 4 swim baits in one if you buy the full kit. Yeah. And so the most obvious is it's a 2-piece that you can pull the pin and it becomes a 3-piece. So that's probably the most obvious. And then there's I don't know what it's made out of, but it's a hollow weight that you can just use a Allen wrench and you can either crank it farther in and it becomes, I can't remember if you crank it in, it becomes a slow sink or a medium sink. And then if you crank it out, it becomes slow sink. But you can change the sink rate of it.
Okay.
And so he made that that's his first kind of glide. He's working on some swim bait. He's kind of working on some other stuff. But we got connected in a swim bait group chat that somebody just threw us into. And he was like, I was like, wait, I'm from here too. And he's like, wait, and so we're like, he's got a 3 to 5 acre pond, probably less than that. But he's got a nice pond that I've fished before. and I've helped him out just with cleaning up the shop or mowing grass if he needs it when he's working a lot or stuff like that.
That's cool.
And so I remember when he just had the one crawler, and now he's got a lot of stuff. But
hey, that's cool. Growth is always good, especially in swim bait culture. Do you throw many swim baits or?
I do not. I'm excited. I mean, this one is hopefully the start of a. Oh yeah,
I like that color. What color was that one?
this is the IU.
Okay. I think that's what I got. No, I got JP.
Yeah. So I mean, it looks like I can't really get a good angle on it, but if you tilt it, it looks like somebody spilled oil across it, like how an oil spill looks on the ground.
Oil spill, like that color, that rainbowy colory effect.
Yeah.
It'll be cool. Yeah, we're just getting into swim baits, so it's a whole new adventure for us. So the Pete is one of the ones that the pistol Pete is one of the ones I'm excited to try out. We have another buddy that we know that's in like the Ohio area as well. Dropout Supply. He makes resin glides. I have a few of his to try out this year. I'm super excited about. We actually sent Bobby one as like a little gift. So that one's one that we're super excited to get out. But the pistol Pete, that's gonna be perfect for my conventional gear. I don't even have to use a swim bait combo for it, which will be nice. But you're just coming back from the Classic this year. We kind of wanted to get a little bit of some take from you from the Classic. So let's start out with, what was your favorite part of the Classic?
Yeah, so this is my second Classic. It's the second time I've been to. So I've only ever been to the Knoxville Classic. And if you've never been to the Classic, one, you have to go. Whether you're beginner angler or you're doing this forever, it is one. It's crazy because it's the same thing with Columbus. It's everybody's got to, like, I'm the most awkward person until I meet you, and you guys know this. And even there,
we're awkward too. Don't worry.
I saw the Hamilton bait and tackle guys, and we literally just stared at each other for like 30 seconds as we passed each other, because we both went. And just like we recognized, like, I knew exactly who it was, but I was also like, I don't know you well enough to be like, hey, I'm so and so. And the funny thing is I actually won a sweatshirt and all this, and went over there today and grabbed it and all this. He's like, you should have came in and said hi. And most of those guys are that way. And that's one of the coolest things about the Classic is, like, Cliff Pace is standing next to his baits, and I know, like, Ike and Ellie was there, and there's lines to see him, but like most of those guys are like, hey, just come up. Like, we want to say hi. Like, for me, a big company that I followed for a long time, that's not a super huge company, but it's still big for me, was Achigan.
Oh yeah.
And I remember walking up to those guys, and I remember shaking his hand, and he's like, Self, right? And I was like, wait, what? You know who I am? And he's like, and I was like, wait, I've tagged you in enough stuff that you might know who I am. But so, like, probably my favorite, when I say this because probably my favorite part was getting to see a lot of people, like the Cheating guys were there. So that was pretty cool. I had a high school buddy that was there that fished in college and stuff like that. So seeing them, meeting the G-Rat guys, kind of talk to them about some stuff. I didn't necessarily get to chat with as many people as I would have liked, but like just knowing that like everybody is die-hard fishing there, and then just seeing all the baits and messing with them. The other cool thing too is, like, whether you like the Guggen Squad or Dark Horse Tackle or G-Rat baits or you name them, you get to pick them up and feel them and mess with them and
That's cool.
Doing this. And like they had a Daiwa station they had cornhole boards set up, and they had PVC pipes like coming out, and then there's a little hole in the front of it, and if you flipped into the little hole, you got a prize, which was all fun and games, but really you got to mess with the rods and the reels.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you actually got to, instead of just sitting there, because I think, I don't know if I asked this on Jigs and Bigs, but something that I've always struggled, I was like, what am I looking for? Like, I know what I'm looking for when I'm out fishing it, and I know what I'm looking for after a year, after 2 years. Like, I know how this this reel should feel. But it's like when I'm sitting there going,
Yeah.
or I'm like, what am I actually looking for? Like, I know, like with a rod, like I know people have a friend and they put it against their throat and they talk and see if you can feel it, stuff like that. But like having them side by side, and then reels that you wouldn't necessarily see, and then a bunch of companies like there was a from UCall rods. They were doing buy one get one free. I mean, these are nice rods. They just don't have the name backing to them like that so many other rods have. And I got to pick those up, feel those, and I ended up buying 2 of those. But like, that's a rod that I never would touch if it wasn't for the Classic.
Okay.
There was a rod company that John was with, that he shared a booth with.
Oh, Witch Doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of them somewhere else before.
Hobbyist.
Yep, that's right. I heard it there.
And so I think the reason why the hobbyist knows about him is because the New England Expo, all 3 of those guys were next to each other. So the hobbyist was right there, and then John paid for I think he worked it out a deal where he paid for the New England booth, and so they paid for all this. But I got to feel that rod, and it's not a rod I'd feel in person. And he did that trick where you put it against, and man, you could feel like you felt every little thing.
That's crazy.
And I'm not I would love to buy that rod, but I'm like, I'm not in the market right now to spend that much money on one rod.
How much was it?
It was discounted, so I don't know what the original price was, but it's $275.
Yeah, no, good. That's out of my ballpark.
Now, mind you, I mean, he was talking like we are. Put it against his throat. He's like, feel this. And like, I'm going, oh, sure. I would say it was as distinct as when I switched from lead to tungsten.
Wow.
It was an immediate like, oh my word, you can feel it. And then he had another rod that he was like, it was kind of like a project type rod that he built. He took like a tuna rod and made it, I don't even know how to describe it, but he made it bass fishing. And so it's got this, like, he had it under his armpit and he just dropped it down. And he's like, I've had this thing completely in half, like doubled over in half with swim baits, because he built it for swim bait guys.
For swim baits, yeah. I was gonna say, it sounds like a swim bait rod.
And he was telling me,
fun.
But like stuff like that, where it's just like, you would not, like KGB Chad Chads, resin Chad Chads, that I've been able to mess with and throw because of John being obsessed with swim baits and stuff like that. But like those baits, I never touch. This Clutch Ecos or just Clutch in general. I'm not in the market to buy those right now. I would love to eventually, especially like their smaller versions of those, because those are awesome. But like feeling all those baits, comparing them side by side, walking to Buka's baits, and then going up to Clutch and being like, okay, feeling the difference. And some of it is just like aesthetic, but some of it is like, and you can do that side by side. Like, you can go feel a loose rod next to a Daiwa rod. You can go feel this reel next to this reel. And whereas you can do some of that at stores, but like not necessarily as well. And then a lot of those like mid-tier, just not well-known brands, they're good brands, but they're just not well-known. That's probably my favorite part of the Classic in general, is just like, you can compare a lot of those.
That sounds like it would be a good time. We've never been. We need to go. But it sounds like you got to look at a lot of different baits, a lot of different things. What do you have any favorite person you got to meet? Any like pros or anything that you met that you felt like was a very enjoyable interaction?
So it was funny because this year, like, I love see the pros and I like seeing them and all this. But honestly, this year I was talking to Alex Rudd, And I was like, I'm more excited to see you guys. And it's not because I'm a big YouTube guy or anything like that, but just like,
Right.
I feel like those guys are so, I mean, after talking with like the Achieving guys and hanging out with them at the at the Columbus Expo and stuff like that, it's just like, I feel like, I mean, everybody loves to fish. We have that in common and all this, but I just sometimes feel like the the pros are just like so out there when they're really not. Like you meet them, and they're not.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like an Alex Rudd feels like he'd be a buddy of mine, and like Tyler Anderson, who I talked to, he's fished John's pond, and like
Yeah.
we've talked, and all
Yeah, he
that.
did like a little series that he used swimbait.com with, right?
So John runs swimbait.com, and so there's a
Okay.
whole thing there. But like meeting those guys was fun. I've met Rudd before, but I talked to him a little bit more this year. And I had heard his podcast or his interview with Dave Erkey on
Yep.
the whole angler, and him talking about being a teacher and stuff like that. And we talked, and one of the things that I have been doing recently is I have a box of old baits that I just don't throw just because I've got the wall of a lot. So I
Yeah.
threw them into a box, and I'm in a very rural school district, and so I know a lot of kids like to fish. And so when a kid's having a great day or they do well on something, I go, "Hey, see me at the end of the day." Pull out the box of baits. I'm like, "Hey, take 2."
That's
And
sick.
we talked about that, and he's like, "If you ever need anything, just let me know, and we can talk and stuff like that." So we talked about that, and so meeting him, and then there's another guy. He's always on Bass Talk Live, and to be honest, couldn't tell you his real name. But his Instagram handle is Drunkwood.
Oh yeah, his name is. Oh my gosh. You, God to mighty. I listen to Bass and Brews all the time. What is his god dang name? Yes, you did get one. Bobby was talking about that.
So the funny thing is nobody knew who ran that page until the Classic, because he was walking around handing them to the pros.
So it's Drunkwood that runs that page. That's amazing.
And
He's the one that made that the Alex Rudd, like his face out of wood for the tournament he had.
yeah.
I can't remember his name right now for the life of me.
And so it was fun because I've done this now, and you guys will get this too when your podcast starts growing and starts getting bigger and all this. And it's guys that you have DM'd and talked to a lot. And people are like, "Hey, love what you're doing." And you're sitting there going, "I know you, but I don't know you." Or what. And so I did that with him. I was like, "Hey," I was like, "Drunkwood." And he turns around and I shake his hand. And I go, "Eli Self." And he goes, "Oh yeah." And so that was pretty fun. But he has made that, but so that's his full-time job is making that stuff.
Yeah.
He makes, I don't know if he'll do it anymore, but he's made, what's the third? So there's Bass, there's MLF, and then there's kind of a third one.
MFP or MPFL.
MPFL. He's made all the MPFL trophies. They're just
really.
I think they get another trophy, but they're the lake. I think it's the state, and then there's a carved part of the lake, and it says all that. But he's done that. He does a bunch of like bourbon, like barrel type stuff. But yeah, he does a lot of cool stuff. But he's always on BTL trolling everybody, and
That's
so
funny. That's
kind of how everybody knows him, I think. And but it's funny too that he's the one that runs that page because he doesn't care. He cares like just enough, or I guess not at all.
Not at all.
For people to know who that is and post the stuff that he does, and he still won't care.
Yeah. Oh, dude. He's like the number one person that'll immediately text Paul from Bass and Brews when their episode drops, and it's always like a shitty comment about how terrible the episode was. It's hilarious. I die laughing. And when they had him on last time, oh, it was a great episode. So I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah,
that's so funny. it makes sense now that he's the one that's running that page. Now that you say that, but I had no idea it was him. No clue.
It was funny too that he pulled, because I didn't know it was him either. And he's like, "Let me see if I have any stickers left." And I was like, "Oh," thinking like it was gonna be like Drunkwood, his company. And he goes, "Here," and I like looked at it, looked at him, looked at it again, and went, "Oh my gosh!" And then made that connection, and it was like, it was pretty funny because he's like, "Yeah, nobody knows who it was until the classic."
That's so good. I hope he keeps that channel going because the memes are just golden. So
yeah.
Good. I guess my other question I had for you in the classic, did you get to see any of like the actual like weigh-ins for the tournament?
Yeah, so we went Saturday to the weigh-in.
Okay.
And so that is before they cut anybody. So it's a long weigh-in.
It seems like it.
So that was fun. And Mercer's insane. He does such a good job with that.
Good. He's so good.
But they bring everybody around and all this, and we were gonna make the so let me, before I jump to another thing, but that was a fun one because we got to see Dylan Nutt weigh in on Saturday.
Yep.
Buddy of mine from here, Alex Redwine, watched him weigh in and all this. And it's fun. People go nuts whenever, like, obviously there's lead changes throughout because they're still weighing. People go nuts for that, and they're getting everybody hype, and people will throw stuff off the boat and whatever. And it's just cool to watch. It's cool to sit down and watch especially after walking around all day at the classic. Or the expo. It's fun to sit down and watch. And then Sunday we were gonna go to the launch and ended up going, dude, I'm too tired. I'm not.
Yeah.
And so we actually stood behind Zona, Davey Height, and Tommy Sanders for like 2 hours. Like we would have, like I called my dad. I was like, "Hey, hop on Bass Live right now. I'm gonna move, and so you can see me behind them." Because they had 2 like small TVs set up, and we were just watching them do live, and that was pretty cool until the doors opened for the expo. Then hung out there for a couple more hours. And the other part that's cool on Sunday is anybody that got cut is in the expo. So
yeah,
there was a bunch of people, and like you'll be looking and be like, why is there such a long line? You look at the front line, oh, it's Hank Parker.
Okay.
Or like we were by the Lose booth, and I think like Skeeter or Ranger was right there as well. And I look and I go, okay, GOAT, second GOAT. And it was Kevin Van Dam, Rick Clunn.
Nice.
And like
that's crazy.
That part's like, when I went there the first time, I have a hat. It's just a bass hat, and I've got like Kevin Van Dam's signature on it, Roland Martin, Jimmy Houston. Cool. I didn't get Bill Dance, but people just like, I mean, it's just like waiting in line and all this. And this year I didn't do that as much because I was like, I don't really honestly want a signature. I want to have a conversation. And it really is like, they're not trying to be rude, but like sign it, have a quick chat, keep going.
Yeah, because they got to get through the line somehow.
But yeah, and then so that was fun. We got to see the weigh-in, and then Saturday night we actually we went to Joe Brown's Airbnb, and there was a couple of us that hung out.
Nice. So you did. I was gonna ask if you got to see Joe Brown.
He was walking down the stairs, and I went, Joe Brown, and he looked and was like, "Oh, Eli, what's up?"
That's crazy. That's cool. Well, hey, I was gonna ask you if you got to see him, but yeah, he didn't. He wasn't on this week's episode, so I didn't get to hear his story. It'll be fun to hear about what he got to do because he was there with Throwback, right? Or was he there with Fish or Die?
I don't think he was there with anybody.
He was just there by himself.
Yeah, Fish or Die wasn't actually there. Now with the with AVF Tackle, I think he's trying to, like, Throwback Baits was there, Clutch was there, KGB was there. So like I think he's starting to try to like have some whispers here and there of possible companies to try to start working with. And I think that was part of the reason he came. He also, I think it was a close enough classic that he could drive because he drove his boat down.
Yeah, Bobby told us he was doing that because he said he was going to act like he was fishing in the classic.
Yeah, I actually have a fun question I had fun 2 questions for this week, and one of them involves his boat.
Okay.
Because I was trying to figure out how to mess with him a little bit, and so we'll see how he reacts to that. Hopefully he didn't hear it prior to the episode when they record on Friday. But one of them involves his boat and me being I was literally standing next to his boat when I called the question in.
That's awesome. I'll be looking forward to that one in the eLive well.
But so yeah, we got to see him, and then Shan, one of the other guys that they've mentioned on Jigs and Bigs, got to meet him, and it was funny because I didn't realize who it was, and then somebody else. There's a I say kid, but he's probably my age to be honest. His name is Dylan Fogarty, and he fished for Bethel College and now fishes in the Opens. He was there, and then there's but when Dylan walked up, Joe introduced 2 of his friends that were there, and one of them was Shan. And I was like, wait a second, why do I know the name Shan? And I was thinking like Tackle Talk, Shan O'Gorman. I was like, it's not that.
Okay.
And then I realized it's Whatnot Connections.
Yeah.
And it's a guy that is from Indiana that I had DM'd because he had mentioned earlier when I was sitting there, he's like, I feel like I knew that you were from Indiana and like you lived in Ohio, all this. And then when somebody said it again, I was like, wait a second. I DM'd you. That's why you know that.
That's why you know that information. Nice. Okay. Yeah, and the name rings a bell because it gets brought up on Jigs and Bigs a lot.
Yeah.
But we need to. I hope to go to something that's like Jigs and Bigs. Like I wanted to go to the 300th. It just unfortunately didn't work out. But the next time they do something like that, I definitely want to make sure I make it to that.
I say the check it hook set hoodlums. I think will be unless. I mean, it's going to be a minute before they have their 400th episode party. So I think hook set hoodlums might be the best bet because it sounds like from people I've talked to or stuff I've listened to, it sounds like Bobby's a big reason that they're back.
Yeah, it does. It really does. I just got done watching the one where he was on Hoodlumcast. Bobby was on Hoodlumcast, and yes, I get the same. I get the same feel. Now, my last question I had for you on the Classic was there something you didn't necessarily get to do at this year's Classic that you hope to maybe do at next year's Classic?
Yeah, so I think there's 2 things. If you go to the Classic and don't do these 2 things, and one of them I've never done, one of them I have done, and I just wish I had time to do it again, is I want to watch a launch. Just because I think it's cool. I want to watch a Friday launch just because nobody knows anything. They've had practice, but that's about it. I want to watch that. I want to watch a Friday launch. Because like the other thing, and the other reason we didn't go to the launch was because by Sunday, if Dylan caught him well, he was winning it. Whereas Easton, the last Classic, nobody really knew. Like they had an idea, but they didn't really know. Like Dylan had that thing in the bag if he caught five good ones.
Yep.
He was gonna have a hard time losing that. So go to the launch, and then watching Sunday's weigh-in and staying for Super 6.
Super 6.
I was at Hamilton Bait and Tackle today getting something, and I was telling one of the guys there because they left early. I go, you have to stay for the Super 6 because when I was there last, Alex Redwine was like, you have to stay for Super 6. He goes, Eli, you'll love it. And before they bring him out, they put a video up, and it's essentially like the history of bass, and it's like super huge moments in bass, and it's like Ike and Ellie go, never give up, never give up. and like them announcing like KVD's fourth and you hear Ray Scott and you hear all this, and it felt like I got the same chills and like ready to run through a brick wall as I did like high school football, coach hyping you up, all this. Like I was like, let's go. Like that's how I felt.
It was just getting you pumped.
Oh yeah. And then they bring him out and it feels like a WWE entrance. Because I don't know how they did it this year, but like the year before, they had everybody behind stage and then they said some stuff, brought him out, CO2 cannons are going off. And then they line up, they like wave at everybody, and then they hop in their boats, go back out, and then they bring them in one by one.
Okay.
And they have the hot seat. And so they create some drama to it. And especially if it's a close classic, it's like you really don't know. Now
Right.
they have an idea, Bass Track gets turned off 2 hours before weigh-in, and so like you don't necessarily know, and like you have like Patrick Walters who sandbags every single time. So like
Yeah, I was gonna say Patrick Walters is a sandbagger.
so like it's funny too, because like we watched him on Saturday, and that was one of the things that like Mercer like ran with. And he fully embraced it. He knows he's a sandbagger, and like he fully embraces it. But yeah, they'll bring him out one by one. They have the hot seat, and they'll do it. And then, I did watch. I was at home. I made it back home before they did it. So I watched. I think the final 4 guys weigh in.
Mm-hmm.
And this year would have been a fun one because it was. I mean, I think it was 94 since the last Bass Nation guy won.
Yep.
And so the fact that it was a Bass Nation guy, the fact that he's 22, which is what his brother won the college, or was he it was the college.
Yeah, it's a college championship same day.
So he won that. Like you see his brother's bawling because like
Dude, his brother has to hate somebody on the Bass staff because there's one picture and his face, you just see his face. It's just this steel, and it almost looks like. Have you ever seen Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Yeah.
Where the guy's face is melting? That's exactly what it looks like. It looks like his brother's face is just melting. I was like, man, he hates that cameraman. But yeah, dude, it was cool to see, man, and especially for the Nuts brothers, man. They seem to be like Mercer says, they're some kind of like fantasy characters. Like they're phenoms, and now we've got one. It seems like it's going to be in MLF, and one's going to be in Bass. So it'd be crazy to see their like him on the Elite Series. It'll be crazy to see how well he can do. My vote was Fisher Anaya. I thought Fisher was going to have it.
Yeah.
Especially after day one. But unfortunately, he just didn't pull it through. But that's all right. Be another year.
I say and I've got spoiled because I've been to 2 classes. Like people talk about like, and I hate this comment, but people talk about like, oh, the young guys don't understand what this means. It's like you look at his brother, and then you look at him, like they know what it means. Like they grew up, like they're 22, and so I think the Elite Series started in 06, and I'm about to be 27 on Sunday. And
hey, happy early birthday!
Thank you. And so I mean, the Elite Series been a thing their entire lives, for the most part. I think my math's correct. So like the classic, and like you look at that family, like you can tell, like, and then I say spoiled too because like when Easton won it, he was young enough where it's like he's fishing with his heroes, like he's looking, and so like he was emotional too, and so like if you probably look back at your past, when like there's nobody that's like cool, great, awesome, like people are losing their minds, and like or like I mean you look at I can't remember who wasn't. It wasn't the guy in second the final day, but it was the guy in second on Saturday, and I can't remember his name. But he caught one, and I don't know if it won. It wasn't the guy that had the biggest bass, but it was there was another guy who caught a big one, and you hear him like mid talking to Mercer, and just like you can hear him start getting emotional about just just having a shot at winning it. And then you also see, and I'm spacing on names, but he catches a 7.5 smallmouth.
Drew Cook.
Drew Cook.
It's a smallmouth or a meanmouth. They don't really know yet.
And he's giggling and like the dude couldn't keep it together. And on Tackle Talk today, Andrew's like, the closest thing I equivalent to is like, I don't even know what he called it, but like when somebody shoots a big buck and they're turning around going, he's down, and I'm like, just watching that and watching like people's reaction to that, and like I like Sunday Super Six, winning it, doing the drive around the thing with the family as they're playing the music and stuff like that. It's like, if you follow bass fishing at all, like it will give you chills.
Yeah, it's what it seems like. I mean, I follow a good amount. I don't get to watch all of the tournaments, but I try to keep up with who's winning, where they're at in AOI, all of that. And yeah, I mean, this is a huge moment for anybody, whether they be a 22-year-old or a 52-year-old. It doesn't matter. I'm pretty sure if Hank Cherry won another Bassmaster Classic, he'd be like, "Yeah, this was amazing." Yeah. So I give it to Dylan Nutt. I mean, he gave a smackdown on him both Saturday and Sunday, and I think he deserved to win. I think he played a great tournament. But I'm with you. I think that Super Six, like seeing the confetti drop and being in the arena when the confetti drops, I think that's like my apex to be at the Bassmaster Classic. If I ever go, that's what I want. The moment I want to make sure I'm there for.
Yeah, I have a video of when Gussie won it, and the other thing about Gussie's too. So I guess I wasn't there for Easton's. Now that I say that, I was there for Jeff Gustafson. And when he won it, he was also the first. I think he was the first Canadian to win it.
Yep.
And the amount of Canadian flags and the amount of people that went ballistic just because awesome. He was Canadian and winning it, I didn't even realize it until I looked around. I was like, "Why is there so?" Oh my gosh, he's Canadian. That's why.
Awesome.
And but I took pictures and filmed snips of part of it. But anytime like somebody's like, "What do you like?" People kept going, "What are you doing this weekend?" Like all this. I'd show them this and like, "Oh my gosh, this is insane." I go, "Yeah, it is awesome."
Yeah, I bet it's amazing.
It's like the other thing too is like, even if you don't follow bass fishing, it's like knowing what this means to somebody, like just gives you like, you just have a level of respect for like, okay, I can see the work this has taken. I mean, it's winning a Super Bowl. It's winning the NBA championship. It's like you've made it to, and then the fact that like, I mean, can't express enough like the Bass Nation, winning it through the Bass Nations.
That was super cool too.
Like he gets an automatic automatic berth into the Elite Series.
Yep.
And like, which is nuts. And I'm pretty sure that's a 2-year, you're guaranteed 2.
Yep.
Which is crazy. I mean,
that's crazy.
The kid's 22. And like when my buddy Alex got in through the Opens, like it was funny because a lot of interviews that he did, like, so like they'd ask him questions and be like, "I don't know. I didn't expect to get in this early." And it's funny, and it's funny because I think Dylan's not necessarily that way, because I think they kept saying like, he's not Tiger Woods, but at the same time, like he's kind of got that bravado and like, like they asked him like, "Where do you think you'd be?" He's like, "I think I could win this thing."
Yeah.
And he's like, it wasn't an arrogance. It was a confidence of like, no, I think I have a shot.
Yeah, 6 months before the Classic, he said on Mercer's podcast, he's like, I think I'm gonna win it. Even his brother said he thought he was gonna win it.
And like, I mean, it's home waters almost, but at the same time, like, I was telling my wife, and she's like, "Yeah, it's home waters. What didn't he expect?" It's like, no, that's not.
It's not how
that
it goes.
sometimes plays against you really bad because you fish
Mhm.
history and all this, and she's like, okay, that makes sense, and all this, and then the other thing too is like we were looking at how far they ran, and Tellico and I can't remember the other. Fort Loudon
Yeah.
is not close,
No.
and
Yeah, they did some running.
yeah, and so like that's a. I mean, there's so many different things that play a factor in this. Like KVD would talk about all the time. He's like, I'd have to stop like 400 yards away from my spot, trolling motor in because the flotillas behind them were ridiculous.
Yeah.
And he's like, if I stopped on a spot, I'd blow out the spot because I wouldn't blow it out, but the 30 boats behind me would stop, and then all of that water would blow out that spot. And he's like, I couldn't do anything. And so it's like, I was like, Dylan Nutt did not necessarily have that big of. I mean, he probably had 10, maybe 15 max.
Yeah.
But I mean, 10 to 15 bass boats that are coming up on a spot, like the wherewithal to know like you can't stop on a spot, and then like, I mean, relatively people do a pretty good job, especially if you're in the lead, of respecting your spots.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time of like, I mean, multiple people because day one they flip that draw,
Yep.
and so like if somebody else is fishing your spots, like, do I fish next to them or do I move? Like, I mean, there's so many things that like he kept going, Lord willing, like I go out and catch 5 more big ones and all this, and uh, if it's God's plan, like, and yeah, absolutely, like, and 100%. But at the same time, the amount of decisions that like is like not getting spun out or something like that when you
Yeah.
2 hours in don't catch. It's just like I mean, it's crazy to think about on that run. Like, I mean, I'd be thinking about like somebody else in my spot. What do I do?
Yeah.
And it's
Do I
like,
throw? What weight? All that. You're almost like squirreling around in your own head.
for sure. And then like the other thing, it's like, I mean, it makes sense why he won to have that confidence, to have that
Mm-hmm.
that all this, because fishing next to Brandon Polnick and some of those guys, it's like you pull up on a spot and a guy's there. It's like having the no other way to put it but the balls to be like, I'm pulling in next
I'm
to this.
fishing here.
Yeah, I'm fishing here and all this. It's like, I don't know if I would like, and I don't know if anybody was in the spot. Like I say that and I have no idea. But at the same time, like, you got to figure that out. Like, is that something
Yeah.
you're going to share next to the spot? And like, he's fished tournaments enough, but like not with probably his heroes.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, I'd be lost. I'd also be lost because I'd just squirrel out. I would second guess too many decisions that I feel like would probably be crucial decisions to win a tournament. But also, a lot of them say like, if it's your time to win, it's your time to win. You can't really do no wrong. But I think Dylan. I mean, kudos Dylan. I think he did a great job. It looks like it was a great classic to be at, so I'm glad you got to enjoy it. But we have one last question for you for this interview section today. And so we're small ponds, big dreams. So the last question we want to ask everybody that we have on as a guest is, what is your biggest fishing dreams?
So I think right now I've got a bare bones crescent shoaly that I'm slowly but surely trying to rig out. That was a purchase that was 2 years ago. Got a paddle, life jacket, the kayak, and a set of wheels to go for it. And initially I was like, I'm gonna rig it this way and I'm gonna rig it this way and blah 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 and whatever and all this.
Right.
And it was Brad Hicks from the Catch podcast was like, because I bought it from the company that they work with and all this. He's like, slow down, fish out of it,
Right.
figure out what you like, figure out, it's like not even what you like in terms of like products that you want to put on it. Figure out where you cast, my landing net, where am I landing fish from? If you like to do this or do this on it, or where you like to do this and all this. And that was amazing advice. And so I think a dream of mine is to get I want to get an NK 180 to put on the back of it. And then I want to river fish more.
Okay.
I've caught 3 smallies ever. Been to Minnesota, didn't catch a single smallie there. Don't know how that happened, but didn't. And the smallest I've caught was being in the river, jumping
Yeah.
in, swimming to an island, and caught 2 that way. And then another one was I was fishing and standing there, thrown under trees, and caught a small one there. So catching smallies is something I really want to do. I think ultimate dream, and I think everybody that ever fishes smallmouth is 20-inch smallmouth would be
Oh yeah,
insane.
shooting for that 20.
But I think river fishing, getting comfortable in the river, being able to figure out how to fish a river, and being comfortable enough that I can send a kayak trip kind of by myself or all that. Because that's the other thing too, is I don't have necessarily buddies necessarily I can call that like we can do a big float. I would love
Yeah.
to do that. So I fished a lot of lakes recently, and it's fun. It's awesome. I love catching fish, but I think there's just something about a river and some of the outside of fishing challenges that would make the 20-inch or even an 18 um, or just a solid fighting smallmouth much worth it.
Oh yeah, they change you as an angler, like I
Oh
said
yeah.
in the last, or as I said in the Jigs and Bigs recording for him. Smallmouth will change you, and me and James actually like made it our mission for like 2-3 years to find smallmouth, and we didn't catch any until last year. Last year was like the first year we actually really started getting on them consistently, and it really was only in the creeks, and we only have like 2 river spots, but I've got lucky enough back in December last year to catch my 19-inch smallie. So I'm still shooting for the 20, but I got the 19, so I'm happy there. But I'm with you. I'm with you. The river, man, is like it's this water system that just it seems so enjoyable to fish. Has a lot of good fisheries or fishing in it, but it's challenge. It's not as easy as going out to a lake and just figuring it out there. You have a lot more things coming at you when you're out in the rivers. So I think that's a good dream to have. That's a dream that these guys have over here. So we're with you on that. But before we let you go, I wanted to give you a moment to shout out where everybody can find you, and if you have anybody that like sponsors you or anybody that helps you out that you feel like shouting out.
Yeah, so Instagram is probably the easiest. It's at _Eli_self on Instagram. That's probably the easiest way. All fishing related stuff there. You'll see a lot of Dark Horse tackle. It's somebody that I have worked with for a long time. Actually, one of the owners, Zach, and then one of the other pro staff members that's kind of does a lot with them, Dave, and I got into subscribing to that box at the same time. And it's just something that I've supported for a long time. They're a small business company that brings together American small businesses and puts them in subscription boxes. And now they have a bait shop and a bunch of other stuff. But they do a lot of great stuff. And it's really how I've got connected with Bobby and Joe at Jigs and Bigs. You guys, I've got connected with the Chegan, and I mean, I can name some Danny at Brizalo, and I mean, so many other great companies. Graham at Robusto. I mean, all these companies that I have been friends with and stuff like that is solely because of Dark Horse and just being consistent. I never have ever asked for anything, just been like, it's a great company. I would support them whether they supported me or not. And now I appreciate the support. Don't get me wrong. I do, but they are a really great company. And so I have enjoyed it. And at this point, it's hard pressed to find me throwing anything that's not related to Dark Horse tackle.
It's awesome. We are big supporters of the Dark Horse tackle. We just hopped on the subscription. Been following them for a long time, but they're a great company, and I love that they support the small American business for sure. But it was a pleasure having you on here, Eli. We'll definitely have to do this again. Yeah. Anything else you want to say before we go?
No, I just go catch some fish. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, dude.
And this weather's got to freaking
That's our-
figure itself out.
That's what I was about to say. Can we just say F the winter and let's get the fishing on with?
Yeah, FTG to
I'm ready.
Ohio, FTG to Ohio weather right now. It freaking sucks.
Somebody needs to call it in. Somebody needs to call in the FTG hotline and be like, screw Ohio.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
It's terrible. All right, Eli. We'll catch you on the next one, buddy.
Awesome.
Bye. Well, that was a fantastic interview with Mr. Eli Self. I had a good time. We talked about a lot of fun stuff. The man has a book that probably has the most bass fishing knowledge that you could possibly have. I want to know how thick it is. I gotta watch what I say. It'll get captured and come back at me. That was super cool. I liked hearing about his like fishing routes. I didn't know that he was from Indiana and came here from for college. I thought that was pretty cool. Dude, sounded like he had a blast at the Classic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta go next year.
Yeah, that's
Have
the
to
plan.
go.
That's the plan. We're definitely planning on going next for Hartwell. They even announced the dates already.
Well,
March
I'm gonna
26th or something.
Take those
like
off
that.
of work.
Tomorrow, even though I don't work. That was fun. I enjoyed hearing a lot about Dark Horse Tackle, like what baits, because he's been in Dark Horse for so long. He's seen a lot of baits come through. So that was super cool. Yeah, it was a great time.
Yeah.
It's going to be super fun this year going out fishing with him.
Oh yeah.
Eli is pretty close to us. I'd say like an hour away.
Yeah.
And we plan on doing some fishing with him this year. Stay tuned. You might see him as a guest spot again. Maybe co-host one time. That'd be kind of fun.
Oh yeah.
Do our normal show with him. I think that'd be a cool time. That'd be fun. Well, again, appreciate Eli if you're listening, and I know you are. Thank you for coming on the show. We really appreciate it. You're welcome on anytime. Do you have anything else that you want to talk about? This got fishing tomorrow.
Fishing tomorrow. This
Yeah.
weekend seems exciting. See how it goes.
It's promising. It seems promising.
I mean, it's always going to be a good time.
Yeah.
With the two of us. And if we're going to do a creek walk tomorrow, it'll be our first real creek walk of the year. We've had one other one, but yeah.
So you guys know we got the camera. Me and James are working on trying to, we don't necessarily want to be content creators 100%, but we're working on some ideas for like reels, cast to catch kind of stuff, maybe a little longish form content. So stay tuned. If you listen to us on Spotify, we super appreciate you, but definitely still go subscribe over on YouTube because you'll get different content there. You get the extras, you get the reels, you'll get the like I said, long form content, and maybe some other things.
Yeah.
Some other surprises.
And go check it out. And if you like it, let us know. If you don't like it, let us know.
Yeah. And if you're indifferent, let us know.
Yeah, just let us
Seriously.
know.
Anyone out there listening, hit up the comment section. Maybe we should hit like a question this week and see if get people to comment their answers. What's something like you would ask people about bass fishing to get to know them? Kind of like we just did with Eli.
I mean, our icebreaker is a good icebreaker for fishermen.
Yeah, but I feel like leaving that one for the guests.
Right.
This is just a random one-off.
Shout out your favorite lure company.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like it.
If we see something we've not seen before, we might go check them out.
Oh, yeah. Or might go check them out and you get shouted out for the comment in the Dark Express next time. Yeah. So I like that. Comment your favorite lure company. Otherwise, that's going to do it here for this episode of Small Ponds, Big Dreams. We appreciate y'all for taking the time to listen. If you enjoyed the show, give us a follow, leave a comment, share it with a fishing buddy. Until next time, keep your lines tight and your rods bent.
And your dreams big.
Deuces.